Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. First at 4, President Trump is in Michigan at this hour visiting a Ford plant. We have Democratic reaction to the president's dealings with Governor Whitmer. Meantime, the governor allows more businesses to reopen, this time throughout the state, but she does lay down some limitations. And a new twist in Operation Varsity Blues. Actress Lori Loughlin and her hubby changed their legal strategy and prepare to pay the price. Hey there, Ben.
Karen, we're just around the corner from the holiday weekend, and it is looking more and more like summer. If that's what you ordered, you're going to get it, and we'll look at it right now, first at 4.
And we start with big news from Governor Whitmer as she lifts more coronavirus restrictions. This time it's statewide. The changes are big news for the auto industry and retailers throughout the state, but they come with strict limitations. Also, she hinted the overall stay-at-home order will be extended once again past that May 28th expiration date. We're obviously following that closely, and we'll keep you posted. Overall, the changes continue Whitmer's slow and steady approach to reopening the state. Kimberly Gill following all the latest in the newsroom, and Kim, she has the latest on the governor's comments.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Good afternoon. You're exactly right. The governor has kept a tight leash on efforts to reopen the state economy. Plenty of businesses still don't have the green light. The governor says it's important to see how the first steps go to make sure they don't reignite the virus.
We know that COVID-19 takes about 2 weeks to really see the impact of changes in our behavior. And that's why we're counting on everyone to keep doing your part. We want to continue turning this dial, but we are going to stay tethered to the data and the epidemiology to know when it is safe to do that.
All right, so here's a look at the changes. Healthcare providers and veterinarians can resume non-essential procedures statewide May 29th. That's next Friday. Auto showrooms can reopen next Tuesday, but by appointment only. Also next Tuesday, retail can reopen statewide again by appointment only with no more than 10 customers in the store at one time. And starting today, gatherings of 10 people or less are allowed as long as people practice social distancing. That change comes just before Memorial Day. Governor Whitmer says she wants you to have fun, just do it safely.
You can take the boat out. You can have a beer and grill some burgers or have a water balloon fight with your children. But please remember to stay safe. This virus is still present in Michigan. So when you're celebrating, do it wisely.
So the governor might have to say more on that Memorial Day guidance tomorrow, and she did not specifically mention what might happen to the overall stay-at-home order. So Karen, her message for now: take advantage of the restrictions that have been lifted, but do it safely so the state can keep moving forward. We'll have more on the news at 5. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we'll see you at 5.
Sure.
Governor's plan requires all of us to be very conscious of how we spend our time. She hopes you'll stay home as much as possible, but if you really need something, the new order gives you more latitude with that decision. Local 4's Paula Tutman has been gathering reaction today from those most affected by today's changes.
Topping the list, the ability to have small gatherings of less than 10.
I think I'm ready for that, in that we've got 3 grandchildren that we haven't seen except through the screen door or via FaceTime in 8 weeks or more. And they've been at home, we've been at home. I think it's probably time we as a family should be able to get together again.
The Michigan Retailers Association, while pleased the doors of commerce have been cracked open, they are not necessarily pleased with the timing.
We're a little disappointed that stores will not be able to reopen before this crucial Memorial Day weekend. Typically, Memorial Day can be a really good sales weekend for stores. So we'll take Tuesday, but we wish it were tomorrow, like is happening in northern Michigan.
Though with a lack of enforcement at the local and state level, what we've seen, even today, is stores and customers have been largely doing what they want. Some people wear masks, some people don't. Some people keep their distance, some people don't. This furniture store says open for business. An employee told me they've been doing appointments only for about a week, which means they've been operating despite the governor's orders to remain closed, as furniture is not deemed essential inside the store. The lack of consistency is why Beverly Bantam, who owns the Native Detroiter boutique, says she will not be opening her retail establishment next week.
I know that folks are ready to go back, and the reason I'm not really keen on easing the restriction, because based on what I've been noticing, you've got a lot of people that are not following the best practices, wearing face masks. I just left the post office, and it was amazing to see so many people that are not wearing safety protection.
Okay, so keep in mind, this is a door creaking open, not gaping open. It definitely changes the customer experience. You heard the governor talking about it earlier, and that's these appointment only for retail. Obviously, that means a big deal to dentists, the medical profession, as well as buying a car. That's an entirely different experience. And Karen, we will address that coming up at 5.
All right, we look forward to it. Thank you, Paula. So many workers and companies are still desperate to go back to work. New unemployment numbers back up that sentiment. More than 2.4 million Americans filed for benefits just last week. That brings the number to 38 million in the past 9 weeks. But the virus also continues to spread here in Michigan, with more than 500 new cases since yesterday. The state has now reported more than 5,100 deaths, causing heartbreak for so many families. We do have some encouraging news. The city of Detroit said the city is reporting no new deaths yesterday, although sometimes there is a lag between the actual death and the official reporting. All right, you got a big story here. Breaking news. President Trump is in Metro Detroit right now. He is touring Ford's Rawsonville plant, and that's a plant that transitioned to making PPE when the outbreak began. Now, first, the president spoke at a roundtable with some local African American leaders.
We have done a tremendous job in the state of Michigan, not only in terms of bringing autos back and auto productions back, but also in terms of fighting the virus. The federal government has sent 11 million pieces of personal protective equipment to Michigan and 1,720 hospital beds built right here in Detroit.
As the president arrived, Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence spoke to Local 4. She's critical of how he's handling his relations with the state of Michigan.
Displacing politics where he got into the fight with our governor. You know, if you, that woman, if she doesn't show her gratitude to me, then I'm not going to help her. And so everyone's walking around on eggshells instead of collaborating and working together to save the lives of so many Americans.
Also, one more note today. The president said the U.S. will pull out of the Open Skies Treaty that allows 30 nations to conduct unarmed flights over each other's territory. He says Russia was violating the treaty. The president is hoping Russia will want to renegotiate. We do need to let you know he is touring that facility right now, expected to speak later. Of course, we'll have you covered with all of his comments as that progresses throughout the next couple of hours. In other news, it's still hard to look at the water-soaked, muddy mess that surrounded the homes in central Michigan. When you take a look at this, your heart just breaks. Authorities say it could be days before the full scope of this flooding disaster is known. The Tittabawassee River crested last night just over 35 feet. Now that's 3 feet under the forecast, but still devastating. Trouble with 2 dams, one in Edenville and the other in Sanford, unleashed this water, covering everything in its path. About 11,000 people forced from their homes. Floodwaters hit the containment ponds at a Dow chemical plant. Right now, officials say there's no threat. The EPA, though, will evaluate the plant when possible. Governor Whitmer reminded residents this flood disaster is different.
Because this is truly a crisis in the middle of a crisis. If you are one of the residents in the impacted area, especially if you're at a shelter, please take precautions to protect yourself and continue to wear masks. Stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands. We don't want the spread of COVID-19 to grow, especially in a region where we've had to move people around so much.
Governor Whitmer has asked for a federal emergency declaration. We're monitoring the president to see if he has anything to announce at that. Meantime, Local 4's Tim Hamplin takes us on a drone tour to bring home exactly what thousands of residents are dealing with right now.
We start the tour over Sanford Lake, as you see in the distance. We're approaching the Sanford Dam. The dam did survive, but look to the right. The levee is gone. Water is now draining out of Sanford Lake. It's going down to the Tittabawassee River. Yesterday we visited a Wixom Lake, dried up. The Sanford locals are praying that this isn't how Sanford Lake's going to end up. In the village of Sanford, at the base of the Sanford Dam, the Michigan National Guard with front-end loaders clearing up Main Street as water continues to flow from the collapsed Edenville Dam. The entire area around Midland now completely underwater. In the city of Midland proper, you can see from this drone image the tree lines where the river used to be, now clearly a scene of complete devastation. So back up here over Sanford Lake, you can see dry lake bed there. This doesn't appear to be ending well for the residents of Sanford Lake as the water continues to flow through that broken levee. That is the scene right now with Drone 4 over Sanford Lake. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
It's something that you can't even fathom. Your whole life is in a house and it's gone.
What's going through your mind right now, Pat?
I'm thankful that everyone is safe.
And that was Sean Lay. That's part of his story that he posted already on his Facebook page, going one-on-one with so many different people who are dealing with this. It's just simply heartbreaking.
Well, we hope that
And of course, we'll have more coverage on what exactly is going on in Midland on later editions of Local 4 News. Now, we do have our own flood threats here in Metro Detroit. Nothing like Midland, but winds are making life along the lakeshore difficult. So let's check in with Ben Paley. Ben.
Yeah, Karen, it is different. This has been going on for some of these residents for months, since last summer, last spring even, in some cases, and we still have lakeshore flooding that's going on today. Till 4 p.m., those warnings have been extended for Wayne and Macomb counties. We're still seeing persistent east winds, even though they're light. You got a lot of runoff from those rivers and streams up north that are still adding, or at least keeping those lake levels from going down. And flood warnings in effect on the Huron River in Hamburg Township, also for the River Raisin down in Monroe County. Minor flooding expected there and should be improvement by the weekend. So here's your Memorial Day weekend, at least at a snapshot, and we've got shower and thunderstorm chances in there 2 of the 3 days. Sunday and Monday, we're looking at some pretty serious summer heat. In fact, heat index readings could get up to 88 or 89 by the end of the weekend. We'll be more specific and time out those storms and look at even better rain chances coming after the weekend when we see you again in a few minutes. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Still ahead, are you thinking about any summer travel? Where would you go? See how your answers compare to a new survey on Americans' travel plans. It's nice to dream, right? Up first, for months, Full House actress Lori Loughlin fought charges in the college admissions scandal. Her turnaround and how much time she'll spend behind bars. And the story of heartbreaking crime, and Detroit police don't have much to go on. Listen to the story and see if you can help. And we are covering breaking news right now. You are looking live at the president touring the Ford Rawsonville plant right now. He may have some further comments. We're monitoring his visit. We are obviously following this online as well on clickondetroit.com. There was a lot of talk on whether or not the president was going to be wearing a mask when he made this visit. As we see, the president is not wearing a mask. His entourage is. We will find out what he has to say about the visit to the plant that has now transformed into making PPE and ventilators. More on his visit in just a few moments. Right now, we'll go to break.